Hey, yo, what is happening, everybody? It's that man sick. I am a little bit under the weather, but damn it, we're here. It's episode 85. It's No Cooldown Podcast. Hope all y'all have been doing well. Welcome in. Again, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys check out the podcast on all platforms and all that good stuff. I'm getting right to the promo, damn it. You're right. That's right. Again, make sure you rate the podcast on all 5 stars on all audio podcast platforms. Available everywhere on all major audio platforms. Again, YouTube. Make sure you guys, again, subscribe, like, comment, share if you watch this on YouTube. If you're on other platforms, make sure you go to YouTube and hit that sub button because we're dropping segments, shorts, all that good stuff that you might not see elsewhere. So go check out No Cooldown on YouTube, No Cooldown Pod. No Cooldown Pod, on Twitter. I think No Cooldown Podcast on TikTok. And yes, everywhere else, somewhere it's No Cooldown, so you'll find us there eventually. Of course, I'm here with the gang. First and foremost, he has played so much Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth that he has acquired 10 Hawaiian shirts since the last time we saw him. It's WenEazy. He's in the building.
Hey, what's up? Or as they say in Hawaii, aloha.
I'm fucking done.
That game is so good. I cannot lie. That game is so good.
We'll get to that. I already knew this man was fucking knee deep in that game, but that's a whole other thing, man. Oh my goodness. And welcome back after several ailments and illnesses and all that stuff. No, I'm just kidding. He was just out the pocket. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Just don't go back to any previous episodes before this. Just don't worry about it. Anyways, and returning to the squadron, man, my other podcast partner in crime. He is about 30% of his DNA is I think now Unity Engine and several different renderers, Blender, and other, editing softwares. It's King. He's back in the building. What's going on, dog?
I am good. I'm glad to be back.
Word, man. Glad to have you back, boy. And we got some news to cover, some good stories, a lot of shit that's been happening this week. I thought it was gonna be a slow week, but of course, the gaming industry always has other plans. With that being said, a lot to cover. Let's get straight into it, y'all. Y'all ready?
Born ready.
Let's get to it. First and foremost, we had a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth state of play. It kind of was like extra DLC on top of the last week's state of play that we had. Just dedicated session just to break down some of the new details ahead of the Elite Day release. It included some of the highlights of expanded open world exploration, some of the dungeons and secret bosses you may find, some of the unique interaction movement mechanics with all the different party members you can equip, a whole piano mini game that was just getting people up in arms like, yo, this shit is fire. They're just making a bunch of songs and stuff like that. And they released a demo to give people a taste of the expanded gameplay sections, what they're going to be getting into, some of the different mechanics that are involved this time around, and just a first taste of the game ahead of this month's release. So I guess from what y'all saw, if y'all played it, let me know. But if not, if y'all got a glimpse of what you were seeing from the state of play, how did you feel about it, though? When I'll go to you first.
I think they put a lot of love into this game. My biggest fear was that after the success of the first game, they were kind of like, not necessarily like ride it out, but I was afraid that they were gonna like stop innovating or stop trying to chase the best experience for this franchise. But it doesn't seem that way at all to me. I think the cute little like added piano parts was pretty dope, and like things like that. Just they're wholesome, just like wholesome moments. You can just sit there and like I seen people doing all these different like musical renditions of different stuff, and like Cloud plays Runaway by Kanye West, like things like that. And I was like, yeah, that's like really dope. Like it's really cool to see. But no, this game absolutely looks absurd, and they're really going for this is the definitive way of experiencing Final Fantasy VII, and I respect it because they could have gave us like a half-assed like remake just with good graphics, and I don't think a lot of people would have complained too much.
Honestly, Kai, did you get a chance to look in or play Final Fantasy Rebirth?
Nah, I've had no time. I know people excited though.
Yeah, fair. But earlier this morning, I literally was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna sit down with it, even though I haven't played I haven't played all the way through Final Fantasy VII Remake itself, but just to look through the opening sections of Rebirth, like again, the combat is damn. Like the combat was super solid. I like those sections. Again, if you didn't check it, the early sections, like you play as a flashback with like Sephiroth and Cloud, like years before the events of Remake, and just kind of give it a quick glimpse of kind of the origin stories of a few different characters and stuff. It was a cool look. I like those sync abilities that were introduced. I don't think they were in the last game, but I feel like there was another, again, added way to play. really helps with just like the mixing and matching and just the combat variety that you can possibly have with the different options in your party and people that you may carry. I like that. The flow of combat was really cool. Again, just building more on what they set forth in remake. I just think it came together very well. Again, the world, going back to more places. I can't wait to go back and explore again more of these different places. Like again, Nibelheim? Yeah, Nibelheim. What's it called? I'm losing my train of thought, but Cloud's home, Tifa's home, like those different locales and just the environments look really, really expansive. I'm not gonna lie, some of the set pieces of just like really, really good. You know what I'm saying? I took a couple of seconds, and people might see it in the footage I have for this episode of just me just kind of staring off into space a little bit and just looking at like the coastline or again a mountainside or something like that. I was like really impressed with how the visuals came together. It just looked really solid, man. I think, yeah. Like you said, I think this is one where they were never gonna phone it in. They were gonna give it its just due. And I mean, listen, Tetsuya Nomura on this shit, so I already know what's about to be, man. A lot of people, I seen a lot of people been like, saying they be giving Nomura hell as usual. You know what I'm saying? Some people be even blaming him for stuff that he isn't even involved in or even did, which is whatever. But that man is a GOAT. That's a legend, and damn well he's putting the time and effort to make sure this is not only a great translation of what came before in Final Fantasy VII and these parts that we're seeing, but also a step up in terms of the modern scale of gameplay, the added environments, and even a step up in terms of the remake, in terms of the first one that we got a couple years back. So from everything that I'm seeing, it looks like a step up. It looks like a lot more fun. There's so much more stuff to do, you know what I'm saying, from a grand scale, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed from what I played, so I can't wait to get this on Elite Day. Honestly, I'm gonna have to play through 7. I'm gonna have to make a speed run through 7 just to like get a feel of what came before it. I mean, I watched like everybody play it, but I need to finish. I need to finish it through myself instead of just wait and leave it in the on the sideline. But yeah, I gotta get to it though. But so far, so good. That demo was fire.
Yeah, no, can't wait to see what the game is gonna be received as.
Honestly, but moving forward here, we had some news about Tencent, and this is probably not the first time you're going to hear about them this episode. Tencent seems to be on the hunt to buy the Dungeons and Dragons video game rights from Hasbro, or get some type of exclusive rights, something that they can produce some games about it. Definitely, again, due to the success of D&D recently with Baldur's Gate 3 and a couple of different, IPs and properties across, all types of media. But Tencent seemed to be, I guess, having an itch for D&D for the video game space. Kai, you think this is a good move for them, and you know what I'm saying, they could get it?
Can they get it? Tencent, really?
Shut up! All right, listen. I'm just trying to segue it up properly. Damn it! All right, I'm trying to segue it up.
Honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I'm waiting for evidence to suggest that it is a bad thing. I don't really know. I've seen some people that like are really not happy with this news. I would like to know why. I would like to be educated on why this would be a bad thing.
So,
go ahead.
I could chime in. Corporate greed. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that Hasbro's really doing anything with it right now. And I don't even know, like, I genuinely don't really know what they are like looking for specifically. Like, what are they trying to do? Because, like, if I'm not mistaken, did Lariat have to approach whatchamacallit for the rights to make Baldur's Gate? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this gonna garner them? And also, D&D games, there's a bit of like a lot of range when it comes to how they're received, because you have something like Baldur's Gate, which literally is probably one of the best games ever created, or you have things like the D&D game that was made for Xbox Game Pass. You remember that one, the one where like it's like a 4-person like action adventure with the co-op, and the shit was kind of mid.
Oh, are you gonna say? Is that Fable? Are you describing Fable?
No.
Okay, I was about to say. I was about to say. I was like, there's no way he's talking about Fable right now.
No. I like some of the Fable games. I gotta figure out what's the name of that game, man, because there was one that was released. I was excited for it, but nobody was.
What year did it drop?
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Dark Alliance.
Dark Alliance, I think is what it was called.
Damn, good spot.
Yeah, Dark Alliance. That game was pretty buns. It was super good. And it wasn't even
Was
like,
it? I thought it looked good. I never actually played it, but I thought it looked good.
so it looked great.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the issue. The lag was absurd. So like
really?
when you hit something, the monster wouldn't take the damage until after like processed, I guess. And like it depended on the person. Yeah, like it depended on the person who was
They needed a
hosting it.
render time to register hits.
Because it's an action adventure game. Like you gotta press buttons. It's like, but I'm over here like hitting a goblin. He hits me, and then he dies because my hit like killed him. And I'm like, what, man? All right, whatever. Yeah, that game was pretty buns. Pretty buns. No, I'm just gonna say pretty buns. I was gonna say something wild, but yeah,
pretty buns, no
we'll
burger.
See what happens. Yeah,
I think
we'll see what happens.
it's one of those things that can go one of two ways. But just generally, I think it would be in their best interest to, like, you know, if they do acquire it, do a good job, you know. So and they have enough money to do a good job. So that's why I'm just kind of like,
yeah. And it's
going back to what you said about like Hasbro, what are they really doing with it? It's just, I think it goes hand in hand. Like if they can take it and do something cool with it, then I welcome it.
Yeah. My only thing is, again, like, I'm pretty sure it's Hasbro and Larian. After the success that Larian just had with Baldur's Gate 3, I don't think they're in any, like, you know, I don't think they'd be in any mood to switch things up. I don't think Hasbro would want to like switch up any formula right now, honestly. Again, I'm pretty sure that Tencent partially or mine has a minority stake in Larian anyways. So they're like, okay, cool, you know, at least to talk about the potential of it. But I don't think Hasbro will be in the mood to like switch anything up with how they've allowed Larian to work, and Larian's produced a crazy hit that's broken like how many records now. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a possibility right now. Maybe Tencent could, you know, persuade and put something in for the right way. But if you upset anything that has to do with Larian's process right now, I would not. I would advise against it. I would think that's personally unwise if that disrupts anything that Larian chooses to develop in the future. Now, if you're buying the video game rights, and again, you don't disrupt Larian and you allow Larian to kind of be a liaison or an advisor on certain things in D&D, and you develop different stories based on D&D stuff, then cool. If there's a complementary thing, not a disruptive process, if it's complementary to what's already being built on the Dungeons and Dragons video game space right now, cool. But again, who wouldn't want to hop on the bandwagon? The Dungeons and Dragons movie was, again, a hit to a lot of people. It was a really big thing. That movie that came out last year or a year before, or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was last year.
Yeah.
Again, Baldur's
Gate.
Gate.
My little brother's like my little brother's generation, Pirates of the Caribbean, bro.
Yeah, which is crazy to think, which is wild to think. You know what I mean? But there's that whole spin where Dungeons and Dragons kind of back in that it's in the forefront of media right now. It's one of those things across different media vehicles. We're like, yo, I want to check this shit out. And so who wouldn't want to bandwagon on this? You know what I'm saying? Who want to hop on the wave? But they just need to make sure they're not, again, disruptive. They're complementary to what's being built. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's just crazy. Like, just to segue quickly, I think it's crazy to say that, like, in 2024, like, role play in general,
dungeon tabletop is back on top. You know what I mean? I mean, they've said things about anime would never be mainstream. This would never be mainstream. People was gaming at the Super Bowl. They had RDC World at the Super Bowl kickoff show, whatever, playing with NFL players, bro. Like, what was counterculture before is in the mainstream now. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of time for that stuff. I mean, because it's fun. But again, looking back at the view, it is wild to think about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's the years before people would get stuffed in lockers or stuff like that, which is not right. But it's funny how it's the mainstream now. It's what everybody, whether they understand it or not, is looking for. You know what I'm saying? Looking for, just at least has the attention of.
Yeah. All of these industries are going in the right direction. We just got to stop spending $1 billion to make Call of Duty. You know?
Oh, Jesus. Jeez, man, more than just Call of Duty, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish, boy. Speaking of Call of Duty, though, oh, man. We've got some more news. More news about another person who will not hear the last of this episode. Xbox, as part of some major shifts that we will name and possibly talk about later in the show as well. Apparently, we've heard some rumors and stuff stirring around that Call of Duty actually will skip out on the Game Pass as things are adjusted post acquisition. So their thought is what many thought was that we're gonna get Call of Duty on Game Pass and stuff. Xbox Game Pass is gonna have all the Call of Duties or whatever. It seems like that isn't the case. So for you, Kai, I guess how does that news bode for you?
I think if you wanted to play Call of Duty, you would already have it in the Xbox Game Pass, and COD, they don't. It doesn't matter. I don't think.
Why don't it matter
that much? Like I said, I feel like if you what difference does it make? I feel like if you want to Call of Duty, you just buy it. Like if you want to play Call of Duty on release, or if you just want to play Call of Duty in general, you'll have it. I don't think it's gonna make that much of an impact.
I'm about to say, what you think?
So the issue, so like I kind of agree with Kai in the sense that like the people who are gunning like, oh man, finally Call of Duty on the Game Pass. I feel like if you're excited for Call of Duty on the Game Pass, you already own a lot of Call of Duties, or the Call of Duties that matter to you. Like I can't imagine somebody being like, yo, I get to finally play the story mode of Infinite Warfare. Like, who gives a fuck about that?
All right,
like, I don't think anybody's like nobody, because nobody's asking. Like, nobody's being like,
but Jon Snow.
I get to, like I get to go back and play as, or I get to go fucking enjoy the awesome lobbies of Black Ops 4. I like Black Ops 4, by the way, so don't fucking shit on me in the comments. But like, I don't think the people who are looking for this kind of stuff were really waiting for the Game Pass to make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's cool, but I also am very much of like I don't know. I'm not really keen on what's the point of playing old Call of Duty games, because I feel like everybody who would be a fan of old Call of Duty games would have already played them, because they've all been on super cheap, super like, yo, $5 and you get Black Ops 2 on like Steam. Like, I don't know who this is for. The main games not being on Game Pass to me is a little bit of a like, I don't want to say a letdown, but like that's a community that you know they're gonna buy the game. So why am I giving them free shit? You know what I'm saying? Why am I going to give them a discount when I know they would pay full price for this shit anyway? They would pay for a price increase. Like they don't. They're locked in. They're zombified.
Exactly, and that led right to my point again. I think this is, again, an overarching theme for this week and most likely next week's conversations. These gaming companies are thinking like businesses first. At least 99% of them, they're thinking like businesses first. And why would you do anything extra when you already got your best eaters? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do anything more when you already got them in the bag? You know what I mean? Like, why you're just overkilling it. You're overkilling it. Why would you do it? If people know Call of Duty, they're gonna pay. It's one of the highest selling franchises of all time. It's one of the biggest paying, whatever IPs, franchise, whatever you want to call it, games in the world. If they're doing that every single year, no matter how shit it gets, no matter how rehashed, half-baked, half-cooked it is, why would I ever put it on Game Pass and give you a deal? Why would I ever give you a deal on that? On any of them? I'm going to keep everything. You're going to get Call of Duty Big Red 1 for $45. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of how many ways we can boost the value of this. Just get some extra money back. Because, again, Xbox as a brand, Xbox as a business, they're trying to increase that profit margin, and this is why they got the whole bag in the first place for Activision. They knew it could platform them to some bigger profits to make bigger, bolder moves in the gaming space. This is a platform for them to do it. They have the security cushion of Call of Duty now. They have the security cushion of what's it called? League or it's not League. No, what's it called? Overwatch. Thank you. Well, yeah, I'm about to say we'll get to Overwatch in a second, but yeah, Overwatch. They've got the backing of these big, heavy franchises, and now they're not going to let go of the competitive advantage that those things bring. They're not going to do that. So it would have been nice to bring old Call of Duties and maybe bring some server stability to some of those older Call of Duties or whatever, but that's just not business. That's just not business sense to them. And the sooner a lot of people see Xbox is moving from a business strategy point of view and not a we're making this brand as gamer friendly as possible. It's the business first, but and then again, sometimes the positive net benefit for gamers is involved in that, but they're going to try and survive and make the best was possible to get further along for their bottom line. That's what it is. Yeah. So Call of Duty just wasn't in the cards for that type of play. And yes, kind of doubling back to Overwatch, we had a little teaser, pop up midweek, and it seems like we're getting a Cowboy Bebop Overwatch 2 collaboration, possibly with some skins, possibly with some stuff. I heard the music go off, and I'm not gonna lie, it automatically pissed me off because I don't play Overwatch. So I'm like, why are we using this on this damn game? Y'all can comment on this shit if y'all want, man. I got nothing to say other than we just wasted this, bro. Bring it to Fortnite.
I think it's really cool that it's an Overwatch. I think the aesthetic of Overwatch is fitting to this collaboration.
Boo!
But all I'm gonna say is Fortnite has ruined collabs
every time. Hey, you know what?
Because the whole time I'm like, yo, this one looks so good in Fortnite,
bro.
Yeah.
Give me a Bebop. Give me a glider with this, man. You know what? Fuck you, Overwatch. Continue. I'm sitting in the back.
It's tough because I agree that like Fortnite really has made anybody doing anything is like, damn, this would have been way better in Fortnite. And it's quite unfortunate because I just know there's somebody who was working on this for years, bro. They were like, yo, I know I can get Cowboy Bebop over to Overwatch. And then they did it. And we're sitting here like, man, why are you so damn good at your job, bro? We could have had this shit on Fortnite if you would have waited a couple months or whatever. But no, now we got to play Overwatch again. The only issue I have with it is that like Overwatch doesn't really utilize their collabs correctly. I mean, they've only had one. So, you know, they don't have like the not the knowledge, but like the experience with it the way Fortnite does. But the One Punch Man shit was kind of whatever. Like, it could have been cooler. The problem that I think a lot of people have is that with Fortnite, if I buy the Spike Spiegel skin, I can have Spike Spiegel singing Green Day. I can have him building houses. I can have him like in my fake Among Us game. Like, I could do a lot.
I need Jet doing the emo. I ain't never been with a Betty. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know about that.
You can. But you in Overwatch, it's like, awesome. I get to be Spike Spiegel in a first-person game. Like, you can't even see the fit. Other people can see the fit. For all that, I'll let them buy it, and I'll look at them. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. We'll, like, hop up. It really depends on who gets the skin, because that's another thing, too, is, like, Doomfist got the One Punch Man skin. It is the perfect person to give the One Punch Man skin to. I don't play Doomfist though, so I'm not buying it. Like, there's no point in me buying it because I'm just gonna have it and then be like, yo, I spent $40. That's another thing too, $40 or however much, because it'd be expensive. It'd be
crazy.
More than 15.
Crazy.
And it'll be like all that, and I get to play through the eyes of the person wearing the costume. I don't get to see the costume. I get to play through the eyes of it. You know what? I feel like maybe like if they would have did maps, I feel like would be a better idea for them than doing like, yo, I'm gonna play as Spike Spiegel. It's like, why don't you do like the I cannot remember the name of the fucking jet, but like doing something like that.
A map is a really cool idea.
Because it just makes sense for a game that's first person. Like, I can't see him. He's not in the game to me because I can't see him.
Bro, it's just, y'all know where I stand. Man, fuck this game, man. Fuck Overwatch. Give a damn about this game.
It is very much fuck Overwatch. Unfortunately, though, probably one of the best shooters we have right now, and that's not a good thing. It's
not
good. It's
good.
the fact that we don't have a lot of shooters out. Period. So
I'm moving on to the next news, man. Fuck this shit. I can't believe this cat there. Oh man, moving forward here. We had some unfortunate news hit us, man. Again, it feels like this year is going to be set for a lot more of this type of news, unfortunately. But the studio that had their hands in Spyro, the Reignited trilogy, Crash Bandicoot trilogy, and Crash 4 Toys for Bob, their office is actually closing, and they're apparently laying off close to 162 people, and that could be within striking distance of a full studio closure. So, you know, they're under Activision's umbrella, which means they're under Xbox's umbrella. That's one more studio that were involved with some really great, you know, remasters. And again, another installment in the Crash series. They're set to close. I mean, damn, just after 2,000 last week from Xbox, just another one that sets in. This is like, damn, or well, 1,900, but this takes it over to 2,000, I think. For y'all, Dio Kai, we can go to you first, bro. This shit is continuing on a bad trend.
The word Leos is triggering. It's sad, bro. It's sad. I actually need to read up more on this, so I'm gonna pass it over to Wen. But just layoffs in general, just bad. I was reading one story. This is like gonna segue off of this a little bit, but I was reading one story about a girl that worked for Riot, and she was literally days away from relocating, and then she just gets pulled. I think it's crazy. And she had no severance package.
Damn.
Like, you know how they had like the
Yeah.
huge severance, but she didn't get one.
Wow.
Like, I didn't realize that was like a selective thing, depending on like it makes sense
Yeah.
that it is, but like I didn't realize that
Mhm.
you know, some people literally just got axed and that was it. And it's like this was sort of their sort of like, you know, their job to push them to the next level of their lives almost.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sometimes
fucked up.
it's really really nasty because like it's something that you like think of, actually it's great that you brought up Riot, because I think about times that like I think about the games that are coming out like Vandal Tales, which is a Riot Forge game that's coming out, and Riot coming to you and saying, hey, we want you guys to build out our universe. We're gonna give you guys the funding. You guys are gonna be able to play, not to play, but you're gonna be able to make games in this area. You get like all this this funding and this support from us, and then a year later they're like, yo, we didn't hit the margins, so we're shutting it all down. And you're somebody who like, I worked on this game, I put my heart, my soul into this game, and it's wrapped, it's clapped. Nothing's gonna happen from this, nothing's gonna stem from this. And the reason this is just because we didn't make as much money as we wanted to with it, so we're not gonna continue to fund it. Which is, I think, really fucked up, because if I didn't ask to be here, I didn't ask for you to expand the League universe. You asked me to come here and work for you to do that.
Yeah.
So now, not only am I losing, not only did you feed me a lie, but on top of that, I'm going to lose my livelihood. And they could have been anywhere else. They really could have I could have worked anywhere else, but I decided to take a chance on y'all. Y'all hired me. I appreciated it. And now I'm out on the street. No CEOs are losing bread. No executives are losing money. Like, you guys didn't hit the profit margins you want, but you guys are still eating fine. You guys aren't losing your jobs. You guys aren't doing anything. You guys are just sad, really. Like, that's really what it'd be like. Yo, we're sad to say this. Like, I'm sad too. I don't got a fucking job.
I think this might be a controversial one, but I feel like it's also kind of like predatory from like companies of that like sort of status when they invite people to come and work for them, because it's, you know, who's gonna say no to Riot? That's literally like a portfolio making like thing to have. So
I was a director on a fucking League of Legends game. Like, you don't even have to like that. That's enough. That's huge. But it doesn't matter because they close that shit down, and the motherfuckers get to be sad on their yachts and their $1 million estates. Like, this shit is awful.
Yeah, I feel like as much as, you know, obviously there is, you know, analysis and study that goes into these decisions, but when so much of this layoff stuff is happening, it just seems like complete bullshit, and it's just oversight. Like, there's no way you calculated this like correctly for you to make such huge layoffs.
Bro, it's absurd. Like, and even like going back to this story, the fact that we're like these are people who worked in Activision. Xbox made the biggest fucking deal. Remember that shit? Biggest fucking deal. Oh my god, Xbox has so much fucking money. We got Overwatch, we got Call of Duty. This is like amazing. The biggest fucking deal. Bro, if I told you I done dropped fucking 10 racks on my girl's watch, right? And I'm over here flexing that shit. I'm like, oh, this is the biggest flex Wen has had in years. And then you find out I'm over here getting a second mortgage on my home. I'm taking extra shifts at the job, and you're like, bro, I thought you had it. Like, I mean, I did. I told you that I had it, and I told her that I had it. But you know, things are a little tough, so I gotta, sell a kidney or two just to like. You didn't have
That's
it.
crazy.
Brother. You did not have it. You didn't have it. It's fine to not have it. We all don't got it these days, but you don't gotta spend $70 billion to then gut everything. What did you buy it for? What did you buy it for if you're gonna gut everything? Put me on.
I just, yeah. All I gotta say about this shit is, remember what I said in the last Xbox story earlier with Call of Duty. They're operating as a business first, a brand second. They're going to do what they need to do to fucking survive. Now, as much as we would like certain things to be different. Oh yeah, comfortably. Yes, comfortably. Not survive. Not pull, you know what I'm saying, in any water, God rest his soul, and cut his salary so other people can get their jobs and livelihood and stay in the pocket while shit gets rough. They want to live comfortably. They're executives, they're people, all that stuff. It is a business. You got to realize that no matter how much, you know what I'm saying, connectivity you have to the business, no matter how much you care for these brands, it's a business and they're going to do what they can to survive. You know what I mean? And it's not malice. It's not ill will from my end. That's just observation of business as a whole. It's going to do what it can to survive. It will. That's just how it is. And it comes at the cost of the people who are the most, who generate the most for it. The people at the ground level, the people that make shit shake every day. You know what I'm saying? The people that work, who have gaming as their dream. They just want to make dope shit. They're put at the stake first, and that sucks. That sucks to me. But again, hopefully those folks can land on their feet. Hopefully it doesn't mean a closure for the studio, and we can find a way to repurpose or make something happen from it, and carry on, bro. That's all we can hope for at this point.
Yeah, that's all you really can hope for.
But moving on here to pick up some news, we learned that RGG Studio has sold 1 million copies of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which has made it the most successful Like a Dragon / Yakuza launch in history. And with that, we know we got our Like a Dragon correspondent when he's been in the field. He's got his Hawaiian shirt on. He might have 3 on at this point, layers on layers on layers. And we definitely want to get his impressions on this, what he thinks about the sales, what do you think about the game so far. Take it away, Wayne. Go ahead.
So I think this game is definitely probably like their magnum opus. They made 2 different games, like Judgment and the Like a Dragon series. One is action, one is very much an RPG. It's very interesting to see how well they did. This is an amazing game, and them being able to switch between those 2 is remarkable, because not many studios could do something of that caliber of like, hey, I'm gonna make 2 vastly different games and the quality will not drop between them. I'm a huge fan of this new game. Mind you, the thing I always say about the RGG games is that like I would never compare them to something like a God of War or like even like a Ratchet and Clank kind of thing. Maybe more Ratchet and Clank, but these people are trying to make video games. They're not trying to sit here and be like, yo, we have the best graphics you've ever seen in your fucking life, right? It's more like, no. You're going to have the most fun playing this game. This is going to be the wackiest game you've ever played. And you're going to be talking about it, not because of like some kind of weird milestone you set for it, but because it's just a fun game. You're going to want to talk about the fact that like yesterday before I got off, I was doing a side quest and this dude was in a diaper and I had to fight him and his homies in diapers. And this had nothing to do with the quest started. The quest started because an old man wanted to make it snow for his dying wife. And I'm finding a dude in a diaper. Like, I don't know how we got here, but it's hilarious. And I wanted to keep going because this game is just always full of surprises. And that's the reason I love these games so much. That's the main reason that I buy these games on sale. The only negative thing I have to say about this game, and I'm gonna make a video on it because it's a very nasty tactic. And they're not the only people that have done things like this before, but to play the new game plus after you beat the game, you have to buy the deluxe edition, which is whack.
Ew.
Like that's something that the people thought that shit should be free because we've gotten it for free for years. We got it for free in the last game, so what's the difference? But then like it's hard for me to sit here and be like, I didn't buy it on Steam or I got a code, quote unquote, or whatever. Like I went and I bought it on Steam, and the reason I did that is because like a week after the game drops, 10% of their staff is getting cut. So it's like, yo, what's going on financially? Are you guys just not making money on these games? Like, and for me, if there's a franchise I absolutely adore, I'm gonna support it because I want more games like it. And I'll buy it directly I'd buy it from Sega myself if I could. Like, I'd give them all of the bread. But it is something that needs to be talked about because it is not something that we would want moving forward. We don't want to pay money for New Game Plus. And if you're not somebody who's a shill like me, if you're somebody who's like, yo, I have a backbone to say no to these games, then don't buy it and definitely talk about it. But that's the only negative thing I can say about this game because the world is awesome. There's always something. Every corner there's something to do. They added Pokemon to the game, not actually Pokemon, but their own version of Pokemon into the game. There's a bunch of different. There's a crazy taxi mini game that's pretty well fleshed out. Like there's so many different. They've packed into this one game so many different smaller games that it's really fun. It's just a collection of different like. If you like how in Ratchet and Clank you sometimes have to do random like, oh, here's a Clank mission or here's a hacking mission or here's whatever. Like they take those things, add them to the game. They're not integral. They are a part of it. Like the main story will be like, hey, you have to do a delivery or whatever for the crazy taxi thing. And then like they go back to the main story. But if you go back, there's reasons to go back. There's a variety of levels. There's different ranks you can get. There's items behind the ranks that you unlock. Like there's so much reason to play this game. It's a game that just keeps on giving.
Word. Honestly, again, from me watching you play it, shout out to you know what I'm saying, youtube.com/Wotaku channel, you know what I mean? Or youtube.com/@Wotaku channel. Was in there for some streams and watching him play. Like one thing I credit though from what I've seen is the writing. I think the writing is actually like very, very good. Like I think I did Like a Dragon series always had some solid stuff, but I feel like there especially just like damn, it's just like some shit is like genuinely I was laughing my ass off at some points. Like it was early in the game where you were talking about like it was like Ichiban taking somebody out on a date or whatever, and just the banter back and forth between again two of his friends and then Ichiban himself. It was just like so funny. It can go from that on one side to like you know him getting doxxed or whatever for his image and you know what I'm saying trying to get extorted basically. It can go from like a funny thing to some real life topics and all around. It felt like a really good blend and commentary on a lot of things that I saw so far. I gotta give a credit to that from what I listened to again from your playthrough so far. Like it was like, dog, this is some actually really dope shit. And I know me, I gotta fully play through, you know what I'm saying, Yakuza to get to that point, or Like a Dragon to get to that point now. So I'm like, I hold myself back. But so far, listen, it looks like it's been like, you know, it's a culmination game. It's a culmination game of a lot of stuff that they worked on, the pivots that they made over the years from what I've seen. And it looks dope. It looks dope. It looks like they came good and that $1 million, that million copies was justified.
Yeah, no, the story is always phenomenal, and I definitely recommend it to anybody. And again, it's all on Game Pass. By the time you beat all the Yakuza games to get to the newest one, it will be either on sale or on Game Pass because you have a lot to catch up on. But it's not every single game has an amazing story and a reason for you to keep playing them.
Yeah, word, man. No, fair. Big up, Infinite Wealth. Big up, Infinite Wealth. All right, we can push forward from the world of Infinite Wealth to the world of Apex. Damn, it's been a minute since we heard about Apex. We had to get this included on the show to make, you know what I'm saying, King feel comfortable, man. But season 20 is on the way, which is crazy considering, again, it feels like just yesterday this shit just came out, but there's a ton of changes actually coming into the game for season 20, dropping February 13th. First and foremost, there's like an entire revamp of the ranked mode, bringing back RP. There's no more hidden matchmaking ranks or MMR. More focus on kills. Placement still matters, but kills have been again prioritized. Any trials have been removed. Splits have returned. So many changes on that front. Beyond that, we have things like legend upgrades, which can provide you a little short-term perks or boost in terms of matches you gain. I think Evo over time. Again, shield cores, which you're kind of trading, I guess, with as you gain it. So you don't have to shield swap per se, but you can swap the shield core energy of like down boxes that you find to, you know, recharge your shit. Again, earning Evos kind of tweaked a little bit. Evo harvesters, caches. There's a lot of different stuff that's in there. I'm about to say there's a new mixture map in the Thunderdome. Again, performance mode, 120 hertz. There's a lot of stuff that has happened. There's some new LTMs and stuff. The new collection for the 5th anniversary. There's a ton of shit going down. But let's throw it to Kai first, man. How do you feel about the changes coming through for season 20?
I don't know how to feel about them, to be honest. I just think that it's a lot of changes in the game for sure after like I'd say 5 or maybe even 6 seasons of like quite a stale like gameplay state. It's probably gonna feel quite refreshing to a lot of people. Besides Wen.
None of this shit looks refreshing to me. I think
yeah.
I do like the armor core thing though. Like not that I hated shield swapping. Shield swapping to me took a bit of skill, like because I'd be fucking it up. Sometimes I'll just crouch next to a box. But I do think that it would increase people being like, yo, instead of being like rats and waiting for somebody to pull up and then like ambushing them and stealing their shields, I think this is a better way of making people fight each other. But I could also see like people just still camping out. You know what I'm saying? I can't shield swap, so I'm gonna just wait for a part of somebody to start fighting, and then I'm a third party them, and I'm gonna get damage off, and I'm gonna get their cores back, and like things like that. Like third partying, I think that's just in Apex's DNA at this point. Any battle royale, really, because of the speed of how fast you move around in Apex. Like in Fortnite, I hear gunshots. By the time I run over there, they've hit 17 emotes and they're already shielded up. Like Apex is like 2 super jumps away, and you're in the mix.
Facts. I'm about to say you can't take the spirit of pussios out of battle royale, man. You can't do it. You can't do it, no matter how much you try to game plan for it.
I love that they did get rid of like a lot of the cheating stuff. Well, not the cheating, the configs, you know, like all that, like them control them roller players.
Oh
Are
yeah.
sick, bro. I was on this. I saw like a bunch of the reactions of people, and I was watching this one dude. Mind you, this motherfucker had his controller. He was holding his controller backwards, like back buttons towards the front, nastiness. And I'm like, man, if you gotta hold the controller like this, dog, just pick up a keyboard and mouse. To me personally, you doing all this, go crazy. I mean, of course, unless it's an accessibility option. But like the homie was like, my configs are bad. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I can't do it no more. Oh my god! And I'm just sitting there like, brother, play the game. Like I'm sorry for your loss, I suppose. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just play the game normally. And it's like, well, it's not fair that PC gets to do it. It's like, yeah, but you get aim. Like there's just my favorite discourse in Apex is always the people who try to like say that their configuration or whatever is not cheating. That's like my favorite genre of Apex player is like, this isn't cheating.
Yeah, but I think for me, like this update it's gonna do a lot for the game, like in terms of it will get a buzz like it always does.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how this affects the professional scene, like from a spectator point of view, because some of these changes might not make for the most interesting of games.
No.
So that's something that I'm really interested in seeing, because we're actually right in the middle of a split. This is like a really big update to put pros through right in the middle of a split, which is interesting. But yeah, that's one thing I've always been I've been like thinking about since I heard about some of the stuff, because yeah, the pro scene is definitely sort of like carrying Apex in a sense.
Yes.
It's still very, very popular and people do love to tune in. And as much as the pros are happy, a lot of them have said, well, a lot of them have come out and said they haven't actually play tested, so it's going to be interesting to see them all like jump in and actually like experience this on pro settings, because yeah.
And I think we had this conversation before the podcast of like, should pros be playtesting like things that should they be playtesting these games for the devs? Because what devs might think is good for the casual person isn't going to be good for the pro scene. And like you said, a very good point is that the pro scene is what's carrying Apex's popularity right now. And I think that's very accurate, because anytime I see anything Apex related, if it's not a news update, it's usually like something pro related.
Yeah. I think for the casual scene though, like the addition of the new map and the general like the new mixtapes they have in there, that's gonna be fucking popular, like really popular. Because like 3 strikes and stuff, like people literally just install the game just to play 3 strikes. Because
100.
They can play a different style of Apex that feels like honestly very like Call of Duty, you know?
Yeah, they're dropping that new mode.
Setting,
that was like I don't know if it wasn't 3 strikes. It was something else they're dropping. That's a new mode. It was like a 30-person, like a smaller lobby. Yeah, like quicker. They got fully kitted guns and stuff like that. It's like a super fast pace. Yeah,
I don't know why the chat's called it something else.
Yeah,
it's pretty much TDM, but like an actual like accurate representation of TDM in an Apex setting. So I think for the casual scene, there's a lot of stuff to do now.
Yeah, 100, and which is good, and we talked about this on prior episodes and stuff like that. Apex always needed that balance between, again, there's a pro piece that people aspire to always get to and stuff like that. We always look at like, again, it's the apex, pun intended, of gameplay on that game, on that franchise. You know what I'm saying? This is how it looks at its peak, but people still want to play and have an amount of fun without necessarily, you know what I'm saying, sweating their life out when they see these damn red trails and shit like that in their games. So it'd be nice to have that happy medium to where there's fun modes that they can get into, has a different flavor and variety to the actual bog standard gameplay that you get on the base maps and Battle Royale in and of itself, and still have time, because again, at its core, the gameplay, the gunplay of Apex is really, really fun. Always has been. That you can't fault that. You can't deny that. And putting that in different fun packages rather than just putting it only in Battle Royale mode and forcing you that way, that's a key. Again, you got to diversify your bonds if you want to, again, have a fruitful life cycle, in my opinion. And I think they've been leaning into that more and more over the past seasons and doing stuff like this, dropping the new mode, making some quick tweaks and changes, the Thunderdome stuff. Like I think they're starting to lean into that more, which is good, and that creates a stable base between the pro players who might need a break and stuff like that, and the casual players who aren't going to be in battle royale all the time. So it's the 50-50, man. You just got to weigh the scales properly. I think they're making the trend to actually do that more often, which is good. All right. Solid, man. Apex, maybe I'll download you. I don't know. I've been free y'all shackles for a minute, man. We'll fucking figure it out. I'll toss a coin or some shit. But pushing on here. Damn it. Again, we got Tencent news. But this is different. We had a report, and it seems like Tencent is working on a mobile version of Elden Ring. It will most likely come in the form of a free-to-play game with in-app purchases, which is looking to draw some inspo from Genshin. So it might be an Elden Ring gotcha, I guess. I'm so confused at how that might play out. But listen, man, we'll go to you first. Your thoughts?
I don't want anything to do with this. If I'm being completely honest, I don't see the purpose in this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know why people play Genshin. I know why certain people play Genshin, and I know why other people play Genshin.
To avoid drug addiction.
Yeah, and then there's a different kind of addiction of why other people play Genshin. But we're not going to talk about that.
Oh no!
What I will say is that I think that this is going to be weird because I don't remember anybody being like, "Oh man, the tarnished my waifu." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
I've
most
seen
of them
a
know.
lot of, like, it doesn't make sense to me. And go crazy, I guess.
Have you seen them hands, brother? No, I'm playing. No, let me chill out. Let me chill out.
Like, I don't know who's sitting here like, man, you know what Elden Ring needed after they were talking about how this is the greatest game ever created and how this is pinnacle gaming and anything else is just wishes it could be like Elden Ring. I don't remember anybody being like, man, I wish this shit had a gacha system. That shit would be way cool. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, have fun with Elden Genshin. I want no parts in this. I think it's hella stupid.
I'm dead.
But I do think, because I don't want to be a jerk, I do think it's very important. Mobile gaming is very important to consider when making these games, because there are people who probably watched everybody stream Elden Ring and don't have the means to do it. And if they could play their own little version on their phones, man, let them have it. Let them have the fun. But I think it's kind of nasty that they're trying to implement shit to make money off of it. When it's like, imagine dying to a boss that's stupid hard, and then being told like, oh, if you want to respawn, you're gonna have to.
You gotta buy more souls, brother.
Yeah, like you ran out of energy to respawn. You have to wait 30 hours or pay X amount of money. Like, it's so nasty, bro. Like, chill.
Son, you know how much money a torrent as a mount is gonna be? You know how much money that's gonna cost? You're gonna get $45 just to ride a horse in that game, bro. Walking, unless you're trying to pay that fine, walking is your only option. But Kai, go ahead.
I was gonna say another thing too that people probably aren't thinking of is just you know how like the bosses are really hard, but it doesn't matter because you can always retry them. Like, if you're gonna make me pay to get better at this game, that is quite literally a scam. Like, that is actually, I feel like you should call a lawyer. Like, this game is built difficult just to make me spend more money type vibes. Class action lawsuits, if you will.
Now, real talk, that's an unfortunate possibility. You know what I mean? Don't want to say it's the probability, but it's an unfortunate thing. We can't say it's a 0% chance. But Kai, how do you feel about Elden Impact? Come on.
If I go and visit my little brother and sister and I see Elden Ring on their iPad, I will lose all sanity.
Oh shit! Listen, you don't want to see your little brother and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Solo Millennia. You don't want to let him solo her?
No.
Why not?
No, terrible idea.
Oh.
I don't even have anything else to say. Just stop. Bad.
No, fairs. All right, it's fair. Oh shit. Yeah. Honestly, again, if you're gonna play it on mobile, listen, let people have it. But I'm not checking for it. But again, the mobile market's so big, it would. Anything can make sense in a way because it's the mobile market. It's the biggest section of gaming. So it's like, fuck it, throw something on there.
it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. So it again, from business standpoint, it makes sense. From a gaming standpoint, how the fuck do you make that work? Instead of, if you're not making an actual one-to-one, just like port of it, you know what I'm saying, and you're doing in-app purchase in the game systems, how do you make that really translate without being, you know, a pure gotcha maybe? But unless they're going the pure gotcha route, then it's just fuck us. But you know, it could happen. We'll figure it out though. But moving on here, we got a lot of information from Atlas over the past week, and namely that Persona 2 and Persona 4 are being brought back in some future iteration, apparently. Now, we got some notes that Persona 2 is looking to be a pure remaster with both parts and a new translation / quality of life options in it. And it allegedly aims to be out on either side of Persona 6, which is either before or after at some point. And Persona 4 will have a full remake, apparently, that is years away. And again, according to sources, isn't in full production as of yet. Now, after the news that Persona 3 Reload has literally just like now the fastest selling Atlas game in history, this looks like it got some weight on it. But I mean, how do you feel about it?
I played a little bit of Persona 3. That shit is pretty gas. I cannot lie to you. Do I think it's better than 5? I don't necessarily think so, but I think it's because there's a lot of systems missing from 5 that I'm so used to. It would also be unfair to expect them to be in this game when this is a prequel to that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I will say, however, is that I don't know how well 2 will translate because I haven't played 2, but I don't even know what system 2 came out on. I hope that if they're gonna do this, a remaster may work, but I kind of would really prefer a remake with how much time has passed. But I also trust this team. Like, they did a really good job with Reloaded, and I don't think that it's gonna be bad by any means. But I really like this. I really love that they're like really going all out on Persona. I feel like that's what they should have been doing when 5 first released, and maybe this is the fruit of their labor, because like, when 5 released, it felt like they made a really good game, and they're like, yo, let's put this bad boy in every single fucking game. Let's make sure Joker is a name known far and wide. Like, I was playing the Catherine reboot, which is an Atlas game.
Yeah.
And Joker's in it for some reason. I was like, what's going on here? Like, what's even the point of this? But I'm happy that they're doing more with Persona than just like trying to keep succeeding off of the success of 5.
Yeah, I hear it. Niggas, y'all know how I feel about, again, remasters, remakes, all that good stuff. If it's not readily accessible, which is a problem in and of itself, I understand gauging certain interest in a remake, but it's like, damn, Atlas, it's like they gotta rock out, bro. They just saw Persona 3 just did like the most numbers of any game in their history. They're like, hey, we gotta press the button now. It's too late, y'all. It was already happening, but it's double happening now. So I get it. Persona 4, I don't know what the differences is between, like, again, a base Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden. I don't know what the overarching differences were in those types of games. So I don't know if there's going to be any bridging of the gap in a remake in that.
If it's anything like Persona 5 and Persona 5R, then it's usually like an extra dungeon and then maybe a couple extra people that you can interact with, like a couple confidants.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't be like graphical upgrade between the two titles. But if it's like a full, like a Reloaded was I wouldn't consider Reloaded to be the same as like a Persona R. Like, this was a remake, it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's interesting. So I mean, if there's that amount of, again, legwork into it, then that's justifiable. If there's that amount of legwork in a remake of Persona 4, and then they have those additions on top of it. It's just that, again, they're on top of the world right now with this type of shit, and they can't really miss with whatever they put out. So they're going to kind of dip back into their bag and do it. Again, Persona 2, I'm interested to see. That makes the most sense to do it. From what I was reading, it says that they're just going to do a remaster, but Persona 4, they're going to do a remake, which to me doesn't make sense exactly because of the time difference, because Persona 2 is farther away. So why wouldn't you remake that and do that? But popularity talks, money talks. So Persona 4, everybody loves, and it's on their minds the most from that franchise outside of 5. So I get it. I get why they're doing it. But to me, it's just like, damn, the Persona 2 probably needed more TLC and love in terms of a full maybe a remake, but the popularity poll's gonna speak something else. Outside of that, I mean, like, yeah, cool. I'm more interested to see what Metaphor Refantasio has in terms of like other IP and like adjacent stuff. But you know what I'm saying? What Persona's like, it's not necessarily the One Piece of gaming, but it looks like One Piece in gaming sometimes, where it's like, damn, I would love to play you some. I would love to get into it, but so many damn chapters. This should take forever. I don't know if I'm looking at the wall and this shit daunting.
Yeah, it's definitely not the type of game that you play for like you're trying to get through it in a weekend type of vibe. You pick up Persona, understanding that at some point you're gonna have your own time skip in life. And be like, because I did that. I literally took like a year off from playing that game, and then I came back a year later, like, oh man, this game was amazing. Why did I stop playing it? And now I'm currently still on I took another hiatus to play a different Persona game. They're long, but they're all so good. It's not even funny. Like if you think like I love Yakuza because their stories are always so convoluted and interesting. Like in Persona 3, you shoot yourself to have powers. There's so much to unpack there. Like it's crazy.
What?
But yeah, no. To use your Persona, you put a gun to your head and shoot yourself.
That
your Persona does like it's wild. And you're like, there's a lot to unpack here. And why are we doing it this way? Why is this like this? That's why you play Persona, to figure out those answers.
I don't know. Kai, I about to say, King, any love for you know what I'm saying, Persona remakes 2 and 4?
I'm yet to play a Persona game.
Listen, honestly, by the time you start one and finish one, you're gonna have a family of like 8, and you're like fucking 14 years old, bro. This shit is ridiculous. I was about to say, all I'm saying is it's daunting, but the remake train is fully full steam ahead, if you want to call it. And damn it, I forgot I put these back to back, but it seems like that train isn't stopping anytime soon for no damn body, because Capcom, they have been sending out surveys over the past week or so, and they've been talking about what their IPs are looking like under their umbrella, engaging interest of what IPs people want to see more of and maybe might want to see come back. They were listing a bunch of games, again, some current ones, the Monster Hunters and all stuff like that you see, but there were a lot of older IPs that have been dormant, like Okami, the Versus Capcom series, Lost Planet, Dino Crisis. There was a very, very large amount of IP, all of them basically, and just to gauge interest of what they wanted to kind of vote on in their super elections. But I guess from our view and looking at the question, first, I'll throw it to you, Kai. Out of all these IPs that you were seeing or looking at from Capcom's side, is there anything that you want to bring back or see more of in this current view?
The honest answer is straight up no.
Yep. all the boomers and shit was like, what do you mean no? What do you mean no? This Dino Crisis right there. What are you talking about?
Oh.
Nah,
Yeah,
Ferris.
For me, it's a hard no.
Nah, it's Ferris. That's Ferris, man. Listen, it's the youth, man. It's the youth. He don't know what he do. All right, but it's fair. A lot of niggas didn't know about this shit. I didn't know about most of these fucking IPs until later in life. I'm talking like I'm 36. Anyways, answer the damn question. I was about to say, before I lose my damn mind, talk about how old I'm getting. At least Capcom IPs, what are you looking to see more of or potentially brought back?
Personally speaking, definitely think we need more Resident Evil. No, I'm kidding.
I hate you so much. I
like Lost Planet a lot, man. Lost Planet was
fire.
I think it would be really good in this day and age with all like movement and things like that. Like even just putting Lost Planet, like seeing what they're gonna do with Monster Hunter Wild, like just seeing even like the scope of that world and what it could be like. I could just imagine Lost Planet in that area. There's so much you could do. But honestly, Dead Rising is just one that kind of holds, like, it's near and dear to my heart. I still have to go beat Dead Rising 3. I like 2. The only thing I didn't like about 2 is that I kept having to be a dad. It's the main purpose of the game. I get it, but like, Shawty, this psychopathic butcher just caught me off guard. I just went to go get your Zombrex. I gotta kill the psychopathic. He's not letting me leave. I can't just leave. and then you kill him, but at what cost? Your daughter dies. So I would love to see more Dead Rising. They're very creative. That game is so good. I think it's pretty underrated. And we got Dragon Dogma. So yeah, Lost Planet, Dead Rising, and Dragon's Dogma looks like it's doing fine. So yeah, I'm pretty happy right now with with where Capcom is.
Yeah. For me, I think they are in a good spot, and I think this is smart of them to even gauge the interest like this. Honestly, to make sure they're serving the people as well as they can. So this is nice. I like that they're doing this to kind of at least have an ear to the street, so to speak. We heard see a lot of talk on like, oh yeah, where's Mega Man Legends? Where's all this other stuff? All this other stuff from other people. Me, I'm a simple man. I want them to correct a mistake. I want them to right a wrong. You know what I mean? I need them to make another Marvel vs. Capcom because Infinite wasn't it. That shit doesn't. It hurts me. It hurts me to say that was the last Marvel vs. Capcom game. It does, very much so. Yeah. And if there's an opportunity to bring that back and do it right and get this proper this time, I would love for that redemption story to be in place because, again, the FGC would eat that shit up. Again, everybody would eat that shit up. It's a Marvel thing. Marvel's hot as it's ever been at this point in time. Just off of the coattails of the end of, the Thanos saga and shit. Still riding high. Whatever you get is going to be heat. I would love a Marvel versus Capcom. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Well, I don't know if it'll ever happen. And that's why I didn't say it, because I think I've given up at this point. I've kind of accepted that game's never going to come back out. But it would be the best possible thing we could get. That would be an amazing. I don't even like fucking tag-based fighters, and I would learn that game in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it came out in 2017, so it's not that long ago in terms of like the license and relationship type of shit. You know what I mean? At least in my opinion, if it came out like 2013, 14, I would have been like, all right, it may be a little bit too far fetched. It's a decade ago. I don't know if they're even in contact, but 2017 is like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. It's like you know what I'm saying, a cool 6-7. That's still relatively fresh. The contacts are still relatively there in the head. I think there's room for a redemption path, and Marvel's hot. You know what I'm saying? Capcom's on the up and up. I think Marvel are looking for, again, some solid partnerships as well. Anyways, because Disney's looking for solid partnerships as well. And you know what I'm saying? That's something we could talk about in a second. But I think it's a win-win for everybody. That nigga just said no. That's crazy. That's crazy, King. That's crazy. I'm looking at him like, damn, bro. We gonna put you in a time capsule, man. We gonna.
You've been saying this.
I know. Literally, bro. And every time I'm reminded, we gotta do it, bro. I'm literally gonna send you all this shit. You're lucky I'm at fucking my wits end with certain nostalgic shit, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyways, speaking of Disney, though, let's talk about what huge monumental news we heard yesterday. Disney basically said they're putting $1.5 billion of stake into Epic Games, which is kickstarting a new venture that they have to basically create new games and this, quote, persistent universe of entertainment that is tied directly to Fortnite. Again, using anything from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Avatar, and more. They're just expanding on the little collabs that they had to maybe make either full-blown games, offshoot modes in Fortnite. We didn't even know what this encompasses exactly, but Epic Games and Disney are now in partnership for some full-on gaming projects. King, talk to us first, bro. What the hell does this mean?
I think it's really cool. I feel like, for me, like, Disney's just kind of like a meh thing, but like at this point in my life, but being around my siblings and stuff, like, this is gonna be something that is gonna be like really, it's gonna be the new shit. You're gonna go to school and sip your juice and talk about the new Disney game mode. Like, I think it's pretty cool.
Nah, honestly, it's fair. I'm about to say, Wen, how'd you feel about this news dropping?
Mortified. Just because, like, I don't like big old bajillion-dollar corporations being like, I'm giving you $1 bajillion, and like, we already have $1 bajillion. Like, now we're gonna give you more $1 bajillion. Don't get me wrong, Fortnite kind of has had their foot on the necks of in gaming for a while now, to the point where, like, I don't even feel like people even really be trying to compete with Fortnite. Like, motherfuckers just be like, yo, we just gotta let that shit rock. And we're just gonna do our own thing on the sidelines. It's just scary because it's the right move. It's like LeBron picking up Kobe on his team. It's like, oh man, with you two, literally nothing is impossible. Like, it could really be. They could make full-on movies in fucking Fortnite, and we'd watch them, and we'd be like, "Yo, this is amazing. This is nuts." But I don't know if this is healthy, but it is scary, and that's really all I got for that.
Ah, man.
You never really know what the impact of these things is gonna be.
Yeah,
All we can do is really hope for the best, and that's like the whole premise of like basically everything we say that's happening that's like new. Well, it's like we hope for the best.
Yeah, because like all I know is I better not see Epic lays off da 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 da. 'Cause there's absolutely no reason.
Y'all bag is crazy
shit
deep.
happen.
There's no way.
Didn't they just make a layoff though?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
I think
surprised.
that was the middle of last year. I think late last year. I can't even remember.
And they'll probably be like, "Oh, we didn't make as much money on Lego Fortnite as we thought we would." And it's like, you guys are fucking liars. You guys made $1 majillion off of that. Don't sit here and lie to me.
Listen. Here's how I feel. This is. It's funny. It's funny. First, I feel very giddy. Honestly, you know why? You know why? Because the same motherfuckers that said, "Hey, it's time to really get into the bag on gaming, guys. Gaming is one of the most premier forefronts of media. It's up there with movies, TV. It's even past that. It's the biggest form of entertainment today, and we have to, align ourselves with the best to make some great content for all of our people." You know who closed their entertainment studios, their gaming, their gaming studios and development teams and stuff like that in 2016? You know who did that? Disney. The same CEO, Bob Iger, he's the same motherfucker that did that. So it's just funny to recognize the lack of I guess the lack of perspective. We'll put it that way: the lack of perspective and foresight to say, "Oh, we fucked up." You know what I'm saying? Gaming isn't worth it in 2016 because you couldn't see the vision. Now that gaming is blown up, and Fortnite has gone crazy and has made more cultural impact than any of your movies or Disney properties in the past, couple of years. Now you're like, "Oh shit, gaming is crazy. We gotta find a way back in." And they've been chomping at the bit, scratching on their necks, like what's it called? Like Tyrone, you know what I'm saying? Like Tyrone the crackhead from Chappelle's Show. You know what I mean? Tyrone Biggums and shit. They were scratching their head, scratching their necks like crackheads, figure out how the fuck do we get back in the gaming industry? How do we do it? Again, the licenses are good. We like the licenses, but we need to have a bigger stake. We need to get our mitts in this. And how do we do it? Jump right on Fortnite bandwagon. Jump right in there with them. That's the easiest way to do it. So I just found it funny. After all these years, they just loop around to the same conclusion that they could have made back then. It's probably going to be a long-term investment, but games have already been proving themselves as a valid art form and entertainment vehicle. So again, hold nuts, Bob Iger, for that one. That's all I'm saying for that on that point. But two, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy because it can go many ways. If it's just an extended Fortnite collaboration where it's like Lego Fortnite, where they'll have maybe some dedicated modes in the game itself to do offshoots, that's cool. That's nice. That's good. I'm not even mad at that. But if they get Epic to really lean in and take properties to make either their own separate games or whatever, that could be another step crazy. Because again, their licensing stuff already is good. They're pimping the brands out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Insomniac got this one. Lucasfilm, you know what I'm saying? Lucasfilm EA got that one. There's a bunch of stuff that's being made right now. But to see what Epic can get into with this, given that their reach, their ability to again push out a lot of things on a huge scale, they're their own monster in and of itself, and Disney attaching their IPs to them, it can mean for some crazy things. I don't know what. I don't know if it's going to be just contained to Fortnite, but it could be something that goes beyond into a beast of its own. And this opens up a lot of things. I'm not the biggest fan of them just jumping on the bandwagon and being, we just pair with the biggest company in the world, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just strategic partnership between two big ass companies. You know what I'm saying? Feels like oligopoly, but whatever. It could be another thing for another day. I don't know. But the possibilities that could come from this are huge. And again, for the people who are into Disney now, and for the folks that have known Fortnite, this shit could mean a lot of different things. This could usher in a lot of different big numbers from the biz side of it if you're looking at it from that way. But this could be a really big gaming experiences in there. Like they could redo Marvel's Avengers in Fortnite and literally erase all the damage Crystal Dynamics did in 2020. They could really do that shit. And that's the funny thing. They actually have the reins to do that type of stuff now. So I'm gonna keep a close eye on it. I'm gonna see what happens, but it just Pepper's Farm remembers. That's all I gotta say. Pepper's Farm remembers, man.
I'm turning my little brother into a Fortnite content creator.
Hey, listen, tell him to start cranking those 90s now. It's a wrap.
Forget the nice. I'm taking this guy to acting school, bro. This Fortnite RP about to
No, hey, also real, don't even, Fortnite RP. Oh gosh, you already giving them the idea. They're already working on it. Listen, they're already working on it. I'm not even going. Never mind. They got it. Fuck me, man. Fortnite is about to take over everything. If they haven't already done so, they're gonna be in my damn grocery store next week and shit. Oh gosh. Anyways, let's move on to the main story of this episode. Wow. This is technically going to be a two-parter. This is going to be a two-part saga because this episode is about what we heard and our speculation on that. So nothing's going to be set in stone. And I definitely want to preface that before we get into everything. And next episode is going to be about what we know because the internet's blown up over Xbox. We have apparently heard rumor after rumor, report after report, again, insider tweet after insider tweet that Xbox is shifting their strategy in a big way. And that main centerpiece of that strategy shift included pushing major first-party Xbox IPs onto competing consoles in the Nintendo Switch, the PS5, and beyond. Now, again, this started back, if you gotta think back to the beginning of this year. A couple episodes ago, we talked about Hi-Fi Rush potentially going to the Switch. We talked about going there, possibly going to the PS5. But now rumors have been swirling about Gears of War, Halo, so many different games, so many first-party games from Xbox's slate going to other platforms, namely the PS5. We heard Starfield, we heard Doom, Sea of Thieves, Microsoft Flight Simulator. How does a Microsoft Flight Simulator get on a PS5? You know what I mean? That just sounds kind of crazy from the rip. Again, Pentiment, Grounded. There were so many other games being mentioned, but even that thought, this whole discourse has caused everybody to lose their minds. There have been so many Xbox fans and insiders and branded supporters or whatever. They've been renouncing their support for Xbox. They were like, yo, how could you? And they're saying F Xbox. They're saying screw them, all this stuff. So many people have been weighing in on the situation about the strategy. Again, they might be abandoning consoles, but it seems like that they're not abandoning any consoles or quitting hardware at all. We're going to get some answers to all this on, again, next week, a business update that Xbox will be providing. But I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on all this shit. There's been so much that's been going on. We can dive into it over this next couple of minutes. But just your initial reactions to a potential Xbox going multi-plat type of thing. So, man, King, let's go to you first because this shit is wild. I hate to put you on the spot like that, but I was.
Sounds like King's a regular, normal person.
I know, right?
What it sounds like.
I know, it's insane, right?
What does this mean?
What does this mean for the Xbox legacy?
What does it mean for the?
How does this affect its legacy? You think that this is a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad
true.
thing. I mean. Go through the list of titles again.
Just to give you a hint of what being, again, this is all suggestion for people thinking this is all set in stone. This is just suggested. We're not going to know anything until next week's business update event from Phil Spencer himself. We're not going to know anything. All right. People have been talking about it. There have been Xbox insiders that have been spouting a bunch of news on this. Jez Corden's been on it. I think Jeff Grubb's been on it as well. There's been a lot of different sources. Again, Andy from VGC. There's been a ton of sourcing on this. So people are saying this shit might happen. But
listen, I have an opinion anyway about all of this Xbox, all this Sony, Nintendo. I have an opinion on this stuff. We need a place, and we're gonna call it the game store, and everything just lives there.
Whoa.
We shut down Xbox. We shut down PlayStation.
Socializing gaming?
We shut down
as an
Nintendo.
American.
We absolutely bury Valve. And then, all of these we just scrap it. It's just the game store and the game box.
This nigga sound like John Lennon.
And I bet you want the game to be free and communist. I will not have no kidding. I would love that. I think that would be
we
that'd be
need
awesome.
to unify, honestly. It's just kind of it's a tiring discourse now. I think like Sony exclusive, Xbox. No one gives a fuck. Like no one actually gives a fuck. Like if you're a true fan of gaming, you just want to play games. Well, the people that entertain the conversation of like Xbox v Sony or Nintendo, like
Yeah.
you have kids and a wife that love you. Like focus.
Do they?
Bold of you to assume.
Listen, again, some of them might, but there's a fair amount of these things that don't.
Yeah. It's kind of wild. So I guess where I'm with it is I feel like we all agree we all don't really care if it goes to PlayStation or not. Mostly because if any of us wanted to play any of these games, we would have played them by now. We all have like the means of doing so. And I understand that not everybody has the means. Like one of my cousin who loves Like a Dragon, that was like the first game he bought this year, and it might be like maybe one of 3 he buys this entire year. Because he's got kids, he's got a life, so I don't want to sit here and pretend like, yo, why don't you just buy both consoles, stop being a pussy? Like it's easy. It's not. But it is one of those things where if you're so passionate about it, you're so passionate about these games coming out on your console, not other consoles, I think you have a lot of free time to be having these discourses. Like if you're really sitting here having console war conversations, you might need to pick up another shift. You might need to go pick something else up. You have way too much free time on your hands. If making sure other people don't play your games on a different colored box matters to you that much. I think this is a huge win for everybody. Except for maybe the small, like, it does look a little weak on the Xbox side, though, because it's not like PlayStation is doing the same for them, right? Like, it's not like PlayStation is saying things along the lines of, like, hey, when are you guys going to put God of War on the Xbox?
That shit will never happen. That shit will never happen.
They don't really have to. I could see this as a strat. If this is true, it could be a strategy similar to when Xbox was like, yo, we made all our games cross-platform. PlayStation's the only people who didn't do it. And slowly, very slowly, PlayStation was like, all right, finally, Fortnite is cross-plat. But you couldn't do a lot of, like, there was a lot of things that were still restricted until finally they were like, all right, we're gonna allow it to be like universal. We're gonna meet up with the standards. This could be the beginning of maybe Sony releasing some titles on the Xbox. Like I could see something like a Helldivers 2 going on to the Xbox, right? It's a PlayStation exclusive right now, and it's a really good game, but I could easily see them being like, man, a year out, the game's already been out for a year. All the people who are going to buy it on PlayStation or PC already bought it. Let's let them have it on the Xbox. So it's only going to boost your player base. It's going to have more people playing the game that you funded. But at the same time, it's not even a bad thing for Xbox to put these games and not get anything back, because at the end of the day, the money goes directly to them. Like, PlayStation's going to get their cut, yeah, but Xbox is making money off it because they own these titles. These are their titles. It's not like a Ubisoft situation. Like, no, I made Redfall. You paid for Redfall. I get the money for Redfall. And another reason you should buy it on Xbox over PlayStation is the fact that it's probably already on Game Pass. So, like, it's not really hurting them either, again, because, like, I've played Redfall on Game Pass. People on PlayStation are like, man, I want to play that game. I want to buy an Xbox. I can't get Game Pass. Man, I'll just buy it on my PlayStation and rock out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a dumb move by any means. Anybody who's bitching, anybody who's sitting here like, man, I wish fucking Xbox didn't do this. I genuinely don't think they look into anything outside of like what game goes on what. Like I genuinely don't think they're comprehending how this could benefit them in the long run. They're just simply sitting here. They just simply want to brag to. I don't know who they're bragging to either. Like I don't know who's sitting here having these conversations with these people. In my mind, they're doing this to like a brick wall, or there are automated bots on Twitter that are having these discourses with these people, because I cannot imagine a real person. And it's always the people with fake profile pictures too. It's almost like there's one or two like high profile people who are like, this is like their actual face, but it's always like random anime PFP who is like, this is the end of the world. This is awful. And then you're like, no, it's not. And then they call you the N-word. Like it's never real people, sane normal civilians. Like it's degenerates. It's the people that if there are no seats on the bus and they're sitting next to an empty seat, you'll stand. It's those kind of people who know about this.
Oh man, it's just funny. Again, I'll get to the crux of this at the end of it, but it is an interesting situation nonetheless. I feel like it's so hard to recover from what was the Xbox One generation. That for Xbox, it's hard for them to find the competitive edge. They've had to really consider changing their approach to the entire landscape and how gaming is changing to try and find a foothold in the market, because you're dealing with traditional companies who've always seen success doing what they do and nothing else. And no matter how much they try and shift the strategy or prior or try and do other things, they haven't gotten able to lay a glove on, you know what I'm saying, people past a certain era. Xbox 360 was a different story, you know what I'm saying? But Xbox One, where a lot of things were really starting to blow up for gaming, like really, really started to set in place, they were way behind the 8 ball with the choices that they made. And now they have to do bolder strategies to kind of catch up in a sense. So the birth of Xbox Game Pass, the environment, kind of understanding they're wanting to shift their strategy to being able to play everywhere and building an ecosystem rather than only focusing on first party games. Because even if you have great first party games, at some point they're going to be the loyalists and people who only see, oh, who gives a fuck it? You know what I'm saying? We don't even know if Xbox has great games. We don't care because PlayStation has all these games. Just off of the merit of a good game alone, for a brand, for a console, is hard to sell, in my opinion, because you can only break through to a certain amount of people if you say, oh, yo, this game is great, which shouldn't be the case. But I think for a lot of people, they're going to be very casual about it. What they own is what they own. They're not really going to deviate from that thing. You know what I mean? People aren't going to be, PC gamers no matter what. Some people just want to get the PS5 because they know it's the PS5 and they're just going to get them games. Like, even if they hear about other great games, which I think it'll slowly shift over time. But for right now, a lot of people are still stuck in their ways. And Xbox you can't beat the set in stone culture. You can't beat the custom sometimes. And that's what brought all this shit with the Xbox Game Pass, the ecosystem changes, all that stuff. And I think this is just a matter of course for what they had ever since from time, really. And so them committing to putting Xbox games, first party games specifically, on other platforms, I think, me personally, it signifies one of two things. One, they're either going the route of a Trojan horse, to where, like, listen, we're going to still be in the fight. We're going to sell our hardware. We're not giving up on any of our hardware stuff. We're going to make sure our first party titles get seen and our first party presence is felt everywhere in gaming, to one, champion that Xbox is the best place to play and Xbox games are, you can play everywhere. We want to champion that to the best of our abilities or whatever. And so we're going to put it on different platforms. We're going to select the key ones to be like, yo, you can play this on a Switch. You can play this on a PS5, blah, blah, blah. We're bridging the gap in gaming. We're telling y'all, we can play everywhere. We really mean that. We stand in on business. And then from there, they can still have a selling point of their hardware because more people are getting tapped into their IPs that they're dishing out and saying, yo, Xbox has real quality shit. Their reputation is growing in the first party market. Okay, cool. And then we have some bangers that will save solely for the Xbox or whatever future iteration that is. And then boom, you maybe have some market share. You'll maybe have some increased actual traffic going to buying Xbox consoles because we know about your name now. We know about your reputation. Your brand conception is better because you actually showcase yourself on other platforms and more people know about you. You can Trojan horse it that way to where you'll sacrifice some stuff in the short term, but in the long term, more people in the gaming space will know you and might be more liable to buy another console to see what you have to offer on select first party things that you kept on your console. That could be one option. The other option, they become Sega. They become a big ass third party publisher. They're not really ever going to make an impact on the hardware game again, and they'll just eventually phase that out or become all digital and then slowly phase it out beyond that, and they'll just become a big third-party conglomerate where they'll publish their games and have it and kind of fall into that lane where Sega's been for a long time. There's only one or two ways I see it playing out because it's been an uphill battle for them since the day that they were born. You know what I mean? You're coming into a very dominated market by Nintendo and by Sony. There's only so much you can do. And if they're not willing to keep bearing the brunt and keep potentially losing money, you know what I'm saying, to operate, they might have to say, yo, screw it, we bow out and we're just going to be a publisher and make our money that way. It would save them a hell of a lot of money in the long run to say, yo, we got Call of Duty, we got Overwatch, we got, again, all the Bethesda games that are going to make a crap ton of money, and all we have to do is push units. We don't have to worry about that anymore, which to me, for them, it's like, okay, cool, you bow out, but that sucks because there's no other competing console to maybe put some pressure on Sony. You know what I mean? For the level of them staying in as a presence in the gaming space, I don't know what's going to be in the future, but I don't want any of these moves to impact the competitive nature of the space right now. You see what happened. You see how stuff was looking serious, you know what I'm saying, during the whole Activision, the whole case, the trial of stuff like that, and them trying to acquire the litigation and all shit like that. So Sony was like, damn, we really got to step it up. We got to figure shit out. They started to pick up pace on their subscription offering and stuff like that. Shit was moving. Again, there's a lot of things that happen to Sony that don't happen if the presence of Xbox wasn't felt, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Or at least things wouldn't have been sped up if it wasn't for that. If we lose that competitive edge, we lose a lot of potential quality stuff. And we're ending up with a lot of shit that, you know, maybe we wouldn't want to accept if another presence was there telling people, hey, you know what I'm saying, I think this shit might be different. If there was a competition, you could go another way with your sale. So it's either one of those two options. It's your Sega or your Trojan horsing and playing the long game. And at this point, I don't know. He has to clear it up. Phil Spencer has to clear all this up because people losing their damn minds. People who are, you know, quote unquote Xbots are saying, yo, you betrayed us, man. I don't know what it is anymore. I just gotta go buy a PS5. Like, people actually are losing their shit. They're pointing fingers at other people who who have talked and played with Phil Spencer before, talking about, look at you guys are just, you know what I'm saying, mouthpieces, dummies or whatever. I'm like, bro, nobody knows. Nobody knows the real answer on this shit, no matter how much people would claim to. Nobody knows until that man opens his mouth next week. But people are jumping out the window. They crashing out over this stuff. I ain't never seen, it is bad. I ain't never seen it crash out this bad in a long time. So we just gotta wait to hear what he says. We just have to wait to hear what he says, bro. And either way, I hope this can keep, whatever move it is, I hope this can keep the competitive edge of the gaming industry up, not down, not conceding anything major, but we can help to get games to people that they, you know, who love games. Because I want to play more shit. I want to play more shit from Xbox. I feel like they're turning a corner with IP stuff. But, you know what I'm saying, I don't want them to die and then we're stuck with, you know, less competitiveness in the space, and now we have to deal with whatever Sony serves us or Nintendo serves us, and we can't bat a fucking eye. You know what I mean? It's just interesting times. But at the end of the day, a lot of y'all motherfuckers are definitely losers who need to get a life and understand you can just play games wherever. It's fine. If you want to buy a PS5, cool. If you want to wait on it on PC, cool. It's crazy how a lot of people have taken this to heart. You know what I'm saying? Business. This is business. People saying, oh, y'all betrayed me. We feel betrayed by this stuff. I said it in the last 2 times, and I'm bringing this bitch up again. I told you it was a common theme this episode. This shit, they're a business first, they're a brand second. They're gonna do what they need to do to make the best moves, to live comfortably, to thrive, and make their money at the end of the day in this space. There's no other way to wrap your head around it other than that. I don't care how friendly you are towards them or how much you hate them and want to see PlayStation win over them, blah, blah, blah. It's business. People are going to make moves in the space to make business move. Business needs to happen for them. So it is what it is. I'm very interested to see what this man says next week, because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. All I know is timeline's going to be in fucking shambles, and I will be there to slander as many people and laugh at a lot of you sad folks. So good luck. Jesus. Oh, man.
Phil Spencer's going to get on and be like, so this is kind of awkward. I was just asking the Xbox team if they could make me a PlayStation. This isn't for you guys. I'm sorry, guys. My son wanted a PlayStation, but I didn't want to have to disconnect systems. My bad, y'all.
Dad, he said, listen, this is a big mix-up, guy. My fault. My fault. Motherfucker sound like R-Truth. What's wrong with him? Oh, Dad. Oh my gosh. It's just, yeah, this has just been insane, bro. This has been insane. Who knows what the future of Xbox holds? We'll figure out what some of this means next week. But the space is changing, guys. The space is changing. But at the end of the day, business is business. And it'll always change and move in the interest of business. That's what it is. All right. And with that being said, I don't think I got any more show notes like that to really cover. Anything that we might have missed this week?
Knuckles trailer.
Oh, yeah, the Knuckles trailer did drop. I forgot. Hey, Knuck If You Buck is on there. Instant banger. Instant. Automatic hit. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Watch that trailer. Tune in for that show. Listen, Knuckles is a black man. If you have offense to that, suck your mother. That's literally it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Knuckles is a proud black man, and we have his own show. He has his own show now. We love it. Great time. Anything else, Wayne, that we might have missed?
Not that I could think of. Helldivers is pretty fun, so tap into that game.
Yeah.
I can't speak on it fully yet. I've only played maybe an hour, but the premise and the core looks like it's going to be such a wacky time.
Word. I actually cannot wait. I'm going to buy that game. It's only like $30, right?
It's only $30,
bro.
Quite literally,
only a 30. I love it.
It is cheap. It is cheaper than Destiny DLC, and it has way more content. So definitely tap in. If you're somebody who likes space shit, if you're a what is it?
Star Trek? Starship Troopers. Yeah, that's the actual one.
If you're a fan of that genre, if you're a fan of Warhammer, like they've taken inspiration from a lot of different sci-fi films, books, and like created their own universe. And you can quite literally see the inspiration. I bought it because they had this giant walking mech that looked like a dreadnought from Warhammer 40K, and I was like,
fire.
Well, if I get to ride around in that, I'm definitely copping. Like it's a lot of fun. Friendly fire is on. I've probably gotten shot in the face. It is quite because they just want it to be like chaotic fun. So like literally, I threw a turret down and then I had to hit the deck because the turret started shooting monsters that were behind me, and it was like looking towards me, and I knew for a fact
he's like, get out!
Kill me if like it literally like there's literally a button to dive to go prone. It's the best button in the game. Map it to something you use all the time because you will be abusing that button because anything and everything can kill you.
I'm dead. That's insane. No, I'm definitely wanting to tap in. Only other thing I would say, oh shoot, Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming to Fortnite. If y'all ain't know, now y'all know. Get locked in. I'm spending money on that Power Ranger stuff. That's all you need to know for that. And Age of Empires.
Oh my god, if they put the fucking soundtrack on the
bro.
If they put any of those intros
oh my
on
gosh.
Fortnite,
It's over. It's over. It's over. I need the morphin time emo. I just need the I need that, and we're gonna be set. There's the Age of Empires stream, I think that's happening at the end of the month, or already has happened. Oh no, it's on February 23rd. But all I need to tell y'all is almost that right there, but it's okay. Age of Mythology retold. Lock in. Age of Mythology, baby. We're locking in, baby. We're locking in. With that being said, that's pretty much that. We get the quick outro, man. On the welcome back, like Mace. You know what I'm saying? Kai, give us your closing statements.
Closing statements. Take a shower, breathe, meditate, tell people that you love them, and yeah, have a good weekend.
A serious, man. When your closing statements.
Drink water, kill bugs, play games.
Word, that's real shit. I heard an interesting freestyle on Twitter the other day, and the phrase "Badussi aroma" is still stuck in my head. I can't get it out of my head. That's been the only thing carrying me through this sickness this week so far, bro. That and this podcast, honestly, bro. Who the fuck says "Badussi aroma" at all? And then in that format, bro, if y'all haven't seen it, you just got to understand there's just some things that just enjoy life, guys. There's so much to enjoy in life. Just have a laugh, guys. Be well spirited, because there's so much out there to have fun and enjoy and indulge in. Life is short. Have fun. Again, tell folks you love them. And if any Xbots are in your vicinity crying and shit over the plastic pieces, tell them to go touch some grass for real. Get some real green in their life, not the Xbox green, just some actual green. All right, but that's all we got for this episode, y'all. It's been episode 85? Damn, we're getting up there of No Cooldown Podcast, and we are out of there. Peace, y'all.